So as promised, I'm here to talk to y'all. What I'm here to talk to y'all about is the right hands of the kings. Now, One Piece chapter 1031 was a doozy. I know a lot of y'all loved the chapter. It was a game-changing chapter, specifically for Sanji, but I think for me, it built up a lot of confidence, right? And I have a lot more renewed confidence, not only in Wano, but in Oda, right? Because I felt like Oda wouldn't touch some of these topics because it was just like, too touchy, but he touched on it and I love it. But also in this chapter, we got an amazing spread. The spread we got was Zoro and the right hands, presumably, which makes the most sense, right? You have Zoro, you have Sabo, you have Shiryu, you have Marco, you have Killer, you have Katakuri, King, Ben, Beckman, Rayleigh, and Bepo. I said I was gonna talk about him. People was like, yeah, definitely talk about him because it's so weird, right? Because I think in any anime, the person behind the king sometimes can be more interesting than the king because the person doesn't have to carry a story. They're not the main character. They're the person behind the main character. So typically sometimes they might be much cooler. They might have a different aesthetic, some cooler one-liners. They just have a different feel to them because they don't have as much burden. That's why everyone can't be the king. Everybody can be the captain. Some people are just more comfortable being the background character, being the person to support the king. But let me ask y'all something though. If y'all were in One Piece, would you want to be a captain or would you want to be a right hand? And guys, just be honest for a second. I don't want you to look at it from a perspective of, oh, of course I want to be a captain because no. Look at it from a perspective of your personality, what you would rather do, things you like doing. Are you a boisterous person? Do you like public speaking? Do you like being the person at the center of attention? Or do you rather being in the background? Do you rather play support? Because that matters, right? I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. The person's personality that's probably closest to mine out of all the right hands is Bepo. I ain't gonna lie, nah. Not a goddamn Bepo. No, it's not Bepo. Person that's close to my personality is probably either Marco or Cat. I'm not gonna lie, Marco or Cat. Marco is just so laid back, just be vibing. Like he's on the battlefield and he's just vibing. It's like, bro, it's lit out here. Y'all next, bro. I'm like, nigga, you still here, like do something. But answer that as well. What right hand you think is more closest to your personality? A lot of people are gonna say Zoro. Most of y'all niggas are not like Zoro. Like, come on, dog, come on. You can't lie to me. Most of y'all are not like Zoro. But what right hand, based on what we know about him, because we don't know everything about these characters, which one is most like you? For me, I'm gonna say Marco. Marco or Cat. Laid back, reserved. I have siblings, so I'm all about protecting them. That's why I more resonate with Cat. And for Marco, he's just chill. He just be vibing. The others, no way. I mean, for King, we gotta wait and see because King is a man of few words, but he seems to have a vendetta. We gotta wait and see. However, let's talk about these characters. Wait, one more thing we really gotta touch on. I'm sure you guys understand where we're going with this. And of course, it's about the right hand, specifically your right hand. I don't care if you're left-handed. Use your right hand to hit that sub button. Drop a like, turn on post notifications, and let's get into it. So I know I've been teasing y'all for a while. I've been saying, yo, I'm gonna make a video on right hands, first mates, and vice captains, and the difference between the three, where it's a subtle difference. It's not that much of a difference, but it's a subtle difference because first mate, typically, that's the first mate, the first person the captain has to join a crew. Vice captain, that comes down to responsibilities. Right hand as well, but that's the person that's most trustworthy after the captain, but he doesn't necessarily has to have a vice captain role, so it's all nuanced. However, why I'm saying right hands, because typically in a pinch, this is the person that he would most look to. And let's just say in regards to strength, because for the Straw Hats, it's different. And that's why they're probably the best crew out there, or close to it, because they got so many different characters that you can rely on in different situations. For instance, with navigating, Zoro ain't gonna be the person that Luffy turns to. He gonna look at Nami like, bro, we gotta figure this out. When it comes down to cooking, somebody's poisoned, somebody needs some food, he gonna look at Sanji. When it comes down to fixing the Sunny, he gonna look at Frankie. When it comes down to somebody being sick, he gonna look at Chopper. When it comes down to navigating on the seas, like dealing with the waters, he gonna look at Jinbei. So everybody got different roles and responsibilities. When we talk about strength and being able to be relied upon, Zoro's at the top of that list. You know, Sanji's right there, but Zoro's at the top of that list. Jinbei as well, but again, Zoro's at the top of that goddamn list. So for these right hands, again, like I said about these characters, they don't have the responsibility of carrying the mantle, right? They're not the main characters. Zoro is technically a main character, but he's not the main character, if that makes sense. But these characters, some prefer over their captains. Not a lot, but some of them. For instance, Silver's Rayleigh. I like Rayleigh more than I like Roger. And of course, because I know more about Rayleigh, but I've learned more about Roger and I think he got drip. He has crazy charisma, crazy drive, crazy ambition, very inquisitive. As much as I enjoy that archetype, right? The character that's loud, that's adventurous, that oozes charisma, it has to be perfect for me to prefer them over someone like a Silver's Rayleigh. Now for Rayleigh, he has definitely shown that he can be outspoken when he needs to be, right? But he is not the strong silent type, but reserved, calculated, smart, dependable, reliable, logical. That's the type of person he is. And again, that's more towards my personality. And I think Rayleigh is just really cool. What he presented in the story for Luffy, every single appearance with Rayleigh, it's been significant. It's been for a reason and it has a purpose. I think most fans would prefer Rayleigh over Roger. I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing here. On a popularity poll, I'm not sure who was higher, but I just like Rayleigh more. Ben Beckman, I like Shanks more. Because Shanks is somebody that's, to be honest, still shrouded in mystery. There's a lot about Shanks we're still trying to figure out. However, Ben Beckman, we know even less about him. A lot of the things we know about Ben Beckman, right, is from the Vivid cards. Ben Beckman seems to be wise. There's information out there about him being the smartest person in the East Blue. We saw his conversation with Luffy at the beginning of the series. We see his interactions with Shanks, the advice he gives. Again, this is not in the canon story, but it's in the Ace novel where Ben Beckman basically deconstructs Ace's character. And it was really harsh. I made a video about it. I'll put it in the link in the description down below. But he broke Ace down to the point where I was like, does he not like Ace? But he didn't respect Ace because Ace was not a true pirate, meaning Ace wasn't chasing the things pirates would typically chase. He wanted chaos. Where that's why they said about Ace, he should probably go and be a revolutionary. So now with Ben Beckman and the hype he's been getting from Vivid cards, and his design is pretty cool. I would love to see more people in One Piece using guns and see how that translates. He is widely regarded as the strongest right hand currently, even over Silver's Rayleigh, who is older. But Ben Beckman is who people look at when you think of the top of the top when it comes to right hands. And I expect a lot from him when we do see him. King. It started off pretty rough for King. Like, he had a cool design and people were expecting a lot, but there were some moments in Wano where people said, well, I don't know about this King guy. Is Kaido basically carrying his group? King was a strong silent type. There wasn't much to go off of in regards to personality, and he wasn't nearly as cool as Katakuri, didn't have the motivations, and we just didn't know enough. But we held out hope for King because maybe there was connections between him and Shiryu, found out more about his devil fruit. Now we're finding out more about his lineage, the ancient race that he's a part of. We still gotta figure it out, but Zoro, I mean, he's getting tossed around. Zoro is holding his own, but King is very powerful. I mean, design-wise, I think it's pretty cool. I think he has one of the best designs. It's just a wait and see thing with King right now because there's not much to go off of. Again, he doesn't say much. We don't know a lot, so we gotta wait and see. Katakuri, my fave, one of my faves, right behind or right next to Doflamingo. My personality is a lot like Katakuri. I think what he presented in the story, of course he fought Luffy, so he gets more of a bump than the others. However, I think in regards to cool factor, devil fruit, just the complete package. Like, Katakuri is one step away from being viewed or regarded as a Yonko because to me he has the complete package. So it's a good and bad thing when you fight the MC, right? Because for one, you know you're not gonna win, but for two, so things has to happen that's probably gonna be detrimental to your overall view or how people view you in the series. But the other hand, you're gonna be more popular because you have to at least build them up to compete or look good next to the MC. So Katakuri has benefited from both things, but he's also been hurt by this same thing. For me, again, the personality, the cool factor, the devil fruit, the awakening, the future sight, just the cool composed nature of everything he went through is spectacular to me. The fact that even with his observation haki, you gotta be calm and cool for it to work shows me that this person has not only years of experience, but also poise, unlike any other. Of course, we know what triggered him and things played out in a way in which it is what it is, but Katakuri is among my faves for sure. Killer's rising up there. Killer's another one that I really liked in Sabo, like the fighting style, like the aesthetic, liked what he presented. I've always said what Silver's really presented to Roger is what Killer presents to Kid, even more than what Zoro presents to Luffy, because Killer is a strong silent type, analytical, confident, smart, poised, and composed. The reason why Katakuri doesn't present this to Big Mom is because Big Mom, that's not their relationship. She doesn't view Katakuri as a partner. That's still her kid, and she looks at him that way. So that's why it's not the same dynamic, but he can present that. However, that's what Killer presents to Kid. I think what Killer's shown on the rooftop has given him the biggest bump for me based on expectation. I didn't expect him to look this good, destroying Hawkins. And his sound attacks, it is spectacular. I love Killer a lot. I think other than my faves or the personality types, Marco and Katakuri, right after them probably would be Rayleigh and Killer. Seriously. Now Marco. I've talked about Marco. We've talked about Marco a lot on this channel because Marco is one of my favorites as well. Thing is, people are cool now, right? People say, oh, Marco's great, Marco. But you don't understand what I went through or what a lot of Marco fans went through back in the day. I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago, or even further than that, where people hated Marco. Not hated, but people would say Marco was trash because he didn't do nothing in the Marineford War. People were saying Vista was more impressive, Joe's was more impressive, and Marco got a lot of hate because of Marineford. And then of course, post time skip, we find out Marco lost to Blackbeard overwhelmingly. People are like, of course, it's Marco, he's trash. So now Marco's been getting a lot more love, especially in Wano when he basically held off King and Queen by himself for a bit. I'm like, bro, this is what I want to see. This is the love I need Marco to get, but it took a long while to get here. However, Marco's great. Devil Fruit is perfect. Personality's great. Again, I resonate the most with that, and we see why he's a fan favorite in Wano. Sabo, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was never the biggest Sabo fan because initially he felt like a really cheap Ace replacement, and it felt like a way for Oda to kind of cover his tracks a little bit, say, okay, I got rid of Ace, but here's Sabo, who was Ace's replacement, but not really, but he kind of is. So for Sabo, because of the pain I went through when we lost Ace, and then you tried to replace it with Sabo, it was like, I don't want Sabo. Like, I loved the reunion in Dressrosa, don't get me wrong, but it was just like, it took me a while to warm up to Sabo. I've warmed up to Sabo. He presents a different dynamic than what Ace presents. He's a bit more fiery, if that makes sense. It seems like he has more fire in his eyes. Like, he seems like he will kill without hesitation if need be. And I love that sadistic side to Sabo. Now, I've grown so much to like him that every time he makes an appearance, especially in the movies, I love it. The last Stampede movie, I'm not gonna spoil what happened, but that was just beautiful. Still need some more. Gotta wait and see. We're still not even sure what's going on with him right now, but Sabo's great. Sabo's great. Like, he is a pretty good character. Even though he's an Ace replacement, I've come to love him. Shiryu, I think literally the most underrated right hand in the story by far, even next to Bepo. And the reason is people don't look at him, or didn't look at him, as a right hand. People had Burgess over him as a right hand, and it was like, okay, I understand Burgess being the 1st Division commander, but Shiryu had the requisite strength and tools to obviously be the right hand. It was so obvious to me. So I didn't understand why people were saying that. I think once Shiryu shows what he can do, people are gonna be like, well, yeah, we were obviously wrong. Because there's an argument that Shiryu could have probably beaten Blackbeard in Impel Down. Now it's 2 years later, Devil Fruit is a completely different dynamic. I can't wait till Shiryu shows what he can do, because people are gonna change their minds. And they're already starting to, because they're like, oh, well, Oda's kind of confirming. Yes, he's confirming that Shiryu is a right hand. Burgess isn't here, okay? So cut it out. Now Bepo. I think for Bepo, he sometimes, he's viewed as a joke for the most part, because he's Law's right hand, and Law is typically by himself. And I think that was the purpose of it, because Law is kind of the engine that makes his crew go. Law doesn't have nearly as much support as Luffy does, but I guess he doesn't need it, because these people fulfill the roles that they need to. I'm not sure what Bepo does. I like him. I don't love him. I feel bad for Law every time I see his crew. But Bepo, he's just, fans love him either way. But I'm just like, bro, I can't deal. Now Zoro. You guys know how I feel about Zoro, the right hand of the Pirate King, the right hand of the future Pirate King. Zoro's not Rayleigh. And I think, of course, there's the obvious parallel, and we try to force it and try to make Zoro Rayleigh. He'll never be Rayleigh. He is Luffy's most reliable crewmate, in regards to strength at least, because again, like I said, they're all reliable in different ways, but in regards to strength, there's no one more reliable than Zoro. This is Luffy's partner. Zoro's a fan favorite. Like, people love Zoro. People hate Zoro sometimes because of his fans, but I don't think that's the reason why you should not like a character, but I get it. He's loved. He's amazing. He's cool. He's charismatic. He's dependable. He's strong. He's ambitious. He's loyal. There's not too many bad things, if any, I can say about this character. Literally. The only bad thing is his sense of direction. And that's a gag. And a funny gag, if I might add. Not an obnoxious one. I think legitimately, Zoro is one of the best characters, not only in One Piece, in anime, period, or one of the most loved. You see in the spread, he is the person that is at the front, at the forefront. I love him. And we all do, so, not much to say about him here. I just think it's amazing, this spread and these characters, some of the more interesting characters in the series. Again, the person behind the king. Silver's Rayleigh is literally the Dark King. I can't wait to find out more, but guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about the right hands? You can answer the questions I asked as well about which character is closest to your personality, and would you rather be a captain or a right hand? But guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.